And we're into it. And away with the pistol round as well. As we've got some aggression coming in towards the fountains early on. Mythic are starting over on that T side. And apparently, twice lasted 3 consecutive rounds without dying, folks. George going to connect a shot a second as well. George looking snappy here, and that's nice to see. George feasting one after another with the USP. Just knocks down the targets. Twice at least will rob him of the ace, but that might be the best thing he can do in this round. It's now a 1v4 for Mr. Tyler Weiss as he attempts to roll this back. Would need an ace of his own. But, again, he has lasted 3 consecutive rounds without dying, so you're saying there's a chance. 60 just playing a little contain twice, making his path over towards A. And what are they going for a setup? Is this a boost up back? I'm not actually sure why they're holding so far back, considering they do have contain through connector. They seem to be aware he could have gone spawn. There's the check. There's the taps. Not a kill. And now life gets very difficult, but twice. They'll find the first. Tries to force a bomb plant. Doesn't realize that Cynic was so close at hand, and that will seal the deal. George's massive round pays off.
Yeah, no, just a great job from George. He was the star on the road to Rio Americas for this Nouns esports squad, really carried them on his shoulders on several occasions, and you're seeing that pure raw potential that he has to perform here at a very high level with a nice little 4K, very clinical shots coming through from the USP. And twice, he was also a player on the Mythic side that performed even above my own expectations for what he was able to achieve. And in relegation, I mean, he was one of their top players, I think at 1.29 rating, something along those lines. So certainly one to watch out for, and did get a couple there to make things at least somewhat viable. But here we go into round number 2. Already the A1S up for Cynic, and he immediately takes the head clean off of Cooper. So Mythic not getting off to the start they were hoping for just yet, as Cynic is going to get flash, but nothing doing just yet.
Now, I can confirm that the screen is now lying to you. I watched Twice die last round. It's all a sham here, John. But we are just going to get that sorted out real quick for you folks. Just, a little tomfoolery out from Counter-Strike. It's a very new game, only a decade old. Just got to occasionally have some hiccups like that. It happens. But how are we feeling about Nouns now? Nice, snappy start to it. I think that grand final looked like a bit of an aberration in terms of their individual performance. George, in particular, was incredibly slow to get started in their first map. And, I mean, seeing him be 6-1 right off the rip here, that's nice. It's comforting because he was such a force for them in Rio. Oh, high gratisfaction.
Okay.
All right.
Might go back to our camps in a little
15 to 6, and gratisfaction is playing gratisfaction. We're just gonna get this sorted out real quick. HUD is revolting. It's angry at us. There we go.
Hey,
problem solved. Thanks for bearing with us there, folks. The HUD just, sometimes it tries to fight back.
Clearly. All right. Well, 60, who was the top fragger in the finals there, is going to go down right off the docket. bwills gets the trade onto Freak, so 4v4. This is a bonus round for Nouns, and bwills is making it work with almost a third, but Flom finally shuts him down. That said, that's good work done with the SMG.
Yeah, bringing it down to an even situation. You still have the limitation of George on the MP7, and Cynic gets caught. That's a bit of a blunder. That opens things back up. That's going to allow for the rotation here. Could theoretically catch a player. George has an upgrade, so in a 2-on-3 here, what's the money look like? If they save these 2 guns, they're buying no problem. But in a 2v3, they're going to be very eager to go on in and give it a little look-see, little poke and prod. And you can't really blame him for that one. Kind of playing with house money here. Nice nade pepper up damage. Bomb now tick-tick-tocking away. And they're going to go. And George will no longer.
Yeah, Carson's out of here. I think he might have wanted to try and pick up the A1S, but it's just too far. It's out of reach, so he'll have to settle for the FAMAS, and Nouns will cede that round to Mythic. Mythic doing a good job there towards long A, at least finding the trade after bwills found that 2K to bring it down to a 3v3, and of course Nouns a little strapped in terms of the hardware they brought into the round. Couldn't pick up the bonus round, but they will still have a full buy-up in their backpacks.
AK found for Carson. So now, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be ideal. It's not
Yeah.
going to be ideal, but if Carson drops over for 60, it should be all right. Everybody should be able to get a
Yeah.
rifle up, and they're actually going to go for the AWP as well. So
The op
that's a
is
nice early
surprising.
find.
The op is a little surprising given the financial situation that they're in. It will sacrifice a lot of utility.
Yeah, well, they're going to go with the guns. They're going to put 60 in a position early on to have impact with that AWP. I think part of it's also that he's got the spawn for the Fountain Peak.
Right.
So he's going in quick. He's going for this fight right off the ripperoo. They're watching for it, but now they got confirmation. Yes, the op is in fact out. Mythic have been put on notice. Oh, Freak. Freak is thanking his lucky stars that Carson didn't pull the trigger one more time facing that direction. He would have been a goner. So it's fast in towards B instead. Utility's a little slow to come out here. Molly at least sections up some players. Stuns them, and that nade is so effective. Now bwills can collect. He's got one. He's looking for more. Not going to have it. And well, with Carson gone, the site is now very vulnerable.
Wow.
Nice duck and shot for twice, and that should seal the deal. George on the flank, but can he really opt to go for this? Looks like he's going to give it a try, though, John.
I mean, perhaps a try, maybe a peek to see if he can get a frag here, but I mean, it's not going to be an easy task for him to find all three and get this defusal, not to mention his time is ticking away for him here. There's the headshot onto twice. That makes it somewhat viable. He doesn't have the kit, though, so he needs these next two very rapidly. There's George peering around. Cooper hanging around sandbags. Just has to peek around and get this one. Hate goes down for the count as well. George trying to clutch it out, but he's going to run out of time with the defusal. Still, he gets all three frags. Great work from George to at least do damage to the Mythic economy, but they will lose the round regardless.
Still keeps the rifle up, gives him something to fight with in the next. Ooh, even gets the AWP, so that's a nice find. George definitely looking on point without the kit. I mean, there was no way he was winning that round, but still looking sharp early. That's a big find for Mythic. Now, up against this one, it's all about dodging the op. If they can do so, you got a chance to build into this T side. Okay, George. Oh, they're going in. They're going in. All right, a late buy decision coming in, but they're going to build around that AWP. Go for the double eco if it doesn't work out. This is now a spicy round. 60 a little late onto the angle. Not going to be able to catch the first spots. Flom getting out towards playground, though. And they're going to withdraw, having seen that presence. Oh, here's the check from Toxic. Carson, has he seen it? No, apparently not, because 60 gets caught out in the open, and now this could be bad. bwills down for the count. There's another kill. Not quite found on George, but they know his position, and this is a clean sweep. Complete massacre. Cynic's best case scenario is retrieving the AWP at this point, because this round is a done.
Yeah, very much so. You're seeing the Abadir brothers, the two players most likely to go for entry frags on this Mythic squad, excuse me. Last season, Cooper went for 27% of the entries and Freakazoid 30%. In fact, on T side, Freakazoid tends to go for them more often than anyone else at 36.2% attempts. So we're going to see him a lot. Of course, Cooper as well, trying to open up that space, and they did it wonderfully right there. Heading into round number 6, well, like you mentioned, Mike, Nouns, because they chose to force up into that previous round, they will be on an eco into this one. It's going to be 2 Deagles, a P250, a 5.7, and a USP. No utility, no body armor purchased from them. So likely going to be a gamble stack coming through. You see 3 players grouped up at short A, one towards the B site, and the other one eventually going to rotate back. That's bwills. Doesn't really matter, though, as Cooper's already found the opener onto 60.
Nice find early. A soft round. A pliable round. Not much in store, but it's always still nice to get entries. Ooh, George! Oh, by George! He's making this one weird. Don't know that he's going to be able to get away from it. Doesn't have the health for it. So the gun won't be an issue. Carson in a 1v3 with a Deagle. And a Dream. We'll die. Goodbye, Dream.
Yeah, well, the expected result. At least George makes it interesting with a couple there from Connector, but for all intents and purposes, the round going the way of Mythic as it should have. 4-2 in their favor, and they're looking to make it 5 now. It's already looking like a pretty solid start to their T side of this map. Again, this is Mythic's map pick. The next one will be Mirage. That's Nouns, and if we need it, Pretty going to nuke, Mike. I like this map pool.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, a nice change from the Inferno Dust 2 Mirage.
True. Still can't get away from Mirage, but
Yes, but I'll take one of the three, right? It's okay.
this is definitely a little bit more of a mix-up. The Overpass is turning in great results for Mythic so far. Aggression from Cooper. Is this going to get caught? No, he just deletes the close-up player. Gets away scot-free as well. He even had bwills right there. He'll try and chase it. Well, he will find Freakazoid. So, wrong Abadir, but one of them taken out nonetheless. Now, 1-for-1 exchange. It seems like Mythic want to redouble their efforts in towards the tunnels. That could be a mistake, but Cynic, he just takes the fight. And there we go. The double up. Works out. Man advantage for Nouns. Still a minute to play with, though, for Mythic.
Yeah, Twice and Plum look like they want to regress Monster here, and I don't know if that's the right choice because there's just Carson waiting here. He's already spammed through the smoke. He's taking down Twice to 36. Plum going for the entry, and he gets the headshot. Opens up the space, looking for the follow-up into Pit. He's got a beat on bwills, but bwills gets him Twice with the trade. 1v1, 6 will deliver the killing blow, and Nouns win a third in a nail-biting round.
Speaking of nail-biting, it's about all they have left is the nails of their fingers. Gonna have to majorly reinvest in this one. The bank's gonna be completely drained. This is a really dangerous round for Nouns because hits coming right back the other way from Mythic. Oof. Famai, MP9. I don't love this one. Time to try and get some early impact with that AWP, the big gun. See if we can make a big time play. Not going to be the first phase. That was really bold for Cynic with one of their few rifles. Really commits into that angle, commits in the fight, and the op shot can't land. Flashbang's good, kills not. Okay, his 60's taken out of play. Now a lot of ground is gained towards A. That op is lost. The big guns are committed out. It's going to have to be the Famai. They're going to do anything with this one. And George is now done with. What a round for Mythic. Relentless in these fights. They're isolating the players out. Nouns not set up to be able to play around each other. Are individually falling. That's a shot for bwills, but he has no idea Twice is already out towards Optimus, and so the round is just about done. Carson even needs a nade to put a finer point on it. This is disastrous.
It really is. I mean, great work from Mythic to win those fights, but you're right, Mike. Nouns just taking individual fight after individual fight, not set up for trades, and Mythic just won every single one pretty cleanly. Only lost Freakazoid after Freakazoid got a very impressive entry. So Mythic are going to take a fifth here unless Carson has some heroics up his sleeve, and only 42 HP and MP9. It doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, it'd be a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Bridge too far. I've seen clutches, but I ain't seen this one.
You know, actually, Carson's performance in the playoffs was below my expectations, Mike. I mean, I think he finished at 138 frags and a minus 24 kill to death differential, only averaging about 15.3 frags per map. So,
yeah,
he's, from my memory, used to be very solid, a great individual fragger, but he hasn't played as much as of late. And I think that's had an impact.
Yeah, I think there's also the issue of let's say in previous rosters, Carson didn't necessarily have to play within a system.
This
He's actually
is
frequently doing the calling himself, so much for what calling there was. And this is definitely a different position within the team. He has been going for a lot of entries, in fairness, which won't reflect well in your statistics. But he is replacing Jazzpimp, and one of the challenging things about that is Jazzpimp within this roster is one of their most passive, calm, steady players. Good for coming in and cleaning up around when it gets out of hand. Yeah, that's not how I think of it.
No, Jazzpimp really fell into a supporting role very well. In fact, good on the entries, both on the T side, in particular CT side. They relied on him 22.2% of the time. He was the one finding those openers. Now Cooper is going to take down Cynic and make it a 5v4. I was wondering, though, perhaps Carson will be taking some pressure off of Cynic's shoulders, who's already come out publicly and said that calling and opping at the same time is extremely difficult, and it's been a challenge for him to adjust to. So maybe that's also a reason why they decided to bring him back.
Well, I think the move there was to take the opping off of his shoulders, put it in the hands of 60. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Carson's having any impact as a voice within the roster. What I will say is, at least in this round, they have a chance to fight. Carson gets an upgrade. Doesn't exactly give them a ton, but they are rotating the players into the right position. It's just bare USPs, but as time gets short, 30 seconds are about to hit the clock as Mythic goes through. A single flashbang, really well deployed from Carson. And now this is getting a little messier than you'd like it to be. First player, traded out. What is happening here? Molotov affected, but do they expect George's position? 20 seconds if he drops the bomb. If he drops the bomb, I think Freak may have seen it. Yeah, he brings it home. A little more expensive than it needed to be, but their economy is resilient.
Yeah, there's plenty of money on the Mythic side. They don't really have to worry about that. They just had to make sure they closed out the round, and that they did. Nouns, pretty good effort. The problem was 2 players got caught truck side, and when you have one swinging around long A like that, it's just extremely difficult to respond in any meaningful way. And I do believe that second player was spotted out, like you alluded to, Mike. So not really much Nouns could have done. So Mythic doubling up on their scoreline, already up to 6 in their T side, and it could get better here unless Nouns wake up a little bit on the defensive end. Flashbang going to get tossed on forward. Cynic peeks around the corner, and bwills uses the boost there from the B site towards Squeaky Door to take down twice. That's the opener Nouns we're looking for.
Freak a little late on the panel spam. Cynic might be on the angle here in a second. Cooper hits a shot. His barrel spotted. Cynic's going to try and get both. One found the op. There it is.
All right.
Nice play from Cynic made. This round still has some risk. The nade takes out 2 of them. Why not? Hate, needs to bring his IGL out, but a worthy sacrifice, perhaps.
Yeah, that all starts with the opener there. Good job on the Noun side, especially that boost coming through and delivering, and they are able to get their 4th and finally shut down Mythic. So match going to be paused here, perhaps to talk things over on one side or another. But yeah, you talked about the op going back in Sixie's hands. That's the role Sixie wanted to have for a very long time, and he's finally getting the chance to shine. So that's good for him. Also good for Cynic, because as an IGL, you do want to be perhaps going for more entries or getting more information, and the mobility of a rifle is far better than that of the op. So everything's been talked over. Both teams are ready to rock, and Mythic want to try and respond and isolate that round victory for Nouns and get themselves right back to their winning ways and a 7th on the board. But Nouns have other plans. They've got 2 AK upgrades from the previous round in bwills and Cynic's hands.
They actually have utility for once.
They do.
Haven't had a lot of that this half. Sixie is alone, though, early, and he's going to have to fade. Off this angle with the AWP. Overpass can be a really tricky map to op. We talk about it as an opper feature map, but you have to know the timing, you have to know the pace. A really good, comfortable opper, though, can dominate this map. And for now, they put a lot of pressure on Sixie. They left him alone, but the boost up is going to find a pick and realize that no one else is outside construction, so immediately Cynic flows up to try and support. That's a good quick read.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Mythic not watching for that boost after they were punished just 1 round ago in the previous round, in fact, and this time, well, it will be another opener for Nouns as a result.
Ooh. Timing here. Sixie's on the angle. He's flashed off, though. Shot doesn't land. And now, he's actually going aggressive off of this. Taking the space down the divider. This is such a bold move.
Oh, that nade's going to hurt.
Bye twice. Bye twice. Sixie gonna catch a shot. No, that would have been the bomb. Op's not landing though. Scope's not zeroed in. He'll get another chance. 3rd shot eventually does hit. And with it, that might just be this round. With control of the bomb, this now becomes an incredibly difficult take. Even if they get space onto the site, what does it actually matter? bwills will shut it down, and Freakazoid, it's all about economic damage here, but he's running out of time. He's running out of clock. This is running out of opportunity, and might actually just try and save the AK.
Yeah, not a bad idea given the economic situation and how much time is left on the clock. Nouns are not going to let him save it easily. It looks like they want to chase. They have someone going on the flank towards long. That's Cynic. And Freak's just going to try and tuck himself in out of view. And actually, it's a pretty good spot for him. And he will save the gun at the very least. So an AK carried over for Mythic, but Nouns have a couple of round victories in a row. And again, it starts with that boost towards the B site to get the opener. And they shut things down as soon as Mythic show face towards A. Not too much invested by Mythic into this round. Just some pistol upgrades, a little bit of armor for Cooper and Twice. Outside of that, they're just saving up the money for the following round. Freak doesn't get any loss bonus because he saves the AK, so we'll see if he can do some damage with it. He is typically the tip of the spear, as I mentioned. Oh, that nade is chonky. Cooper and Flom go down to around half health each, and then Cynic through the wall connects onto Cooper. And again, Nouns get that opener.
Cynic's in kind of a tough spot. You don't want to get isolated. He's stinked down. That gun's lost. It's always a risk when you're up against a limited buy of putting a rifle isolated like that. It's just, they're going to commit to trying to hunt you. And, well, now there's an upgrade on for Flom. Or for Twice. Generous. Knowing that Twice actually has armor. And full health. It's a smart call. bwills wants to bring this back, but again, he's making an incredibly isolated play. If they're holding for him, and I believe Hate is, this could be bad. And indeed it is. Crosshair placements on point there for Hate. Another gun built up, and at this point, Nouns should just start a delivery service because they might as well be charging a fee for these guns they keep handing over.
That they're just being way too aggressive. It's unnecessary. The reason why they won the previous rounds was because they weren't aggressive, because they were passive and waited for Mythic to come to them. This time, well, they get punished not once but twice, and that's a couple of upgrades for Mythic, making this round very much within their reach. 60 waiting with the op, hoping to be at stopping point for the Nouns side and able to shut down Mythic, but no, he's going to be forced back.
He bails. Even with the Molotov in towards the bank, knows he doesn't want to get overwhelmed by the pistols. Here's the trade. 60 still up. This is spicy. Ooh, shot through the dice box. They're both here. Pistols could do it. These players don't all have armor. And Freak, oh, it's going to get checked. Aggression from George. The USP delivers. They had to win that round. It got way too close for comfort considering what Mythic brought in, but George makes it happen.
Yeah, George has been playing some excellent CS right now at the top of the scoreboard for both squads at 15 and 8. It's where we expect to see him, to be quite honest, on this Nouns squad. And nice little clutch from him. USP out, and that's what does the damage. Freak just didn't have enough time to react. Did a great job to at least find that frag with the AK towards bank, but afterwards, George got in that flank and wasted no time at all. 13th round of play, all tied up at 6-6. 3 rounds in a row for the Nouns side. And Mythic, well, they're going to have the rifles again. Like you mentioned, though, I mean, Mythic did that with a very limited buyout. And Nouns lucky to get out of it with an AWP saved on forward. And that will be immediately dropped for 60. As Mythic are being given space towards mid and fountain for free.
They're taking the long control. They are taking it. You give it, we'll take it. Mythic says. Peek off the HE. They've gained a ton of ground here, and now 60 is going to be at risk. I don't know that he necessarily has the feel for the back pedal with the op on this map, but this time he is going to get away in time. Reposition out towards long, get the spot. A little bit of tag damage back the other way, and well, now this could be trouble. But they clean out both players outside of B. The lurk eliminated, and now 60 goes hunting. He finds the C4 in this round. Kind of coming apart in the atmosphere for Mythic. They had a plan, they had an idea. Show some presence outside B. Keep your options open while you establish bathrooms control, but this control's gone by the wayside, and isolated players are dying in isolated fashion.
Well, Carson gave Cooper a fight there, and Cooper was just a hair away from connecting, so could have been more interesting for Cooper in that situation, but good on Carson. He ensures that it doesn't go any further than that, and Nouns find themselves a 7th, and they've taken the lead here after Mythic were the ones to go off on that hot start. All right. Mythic are going to invest a decent amount into this round. Obviously, with the 15th, the only one left after this one. They wanted to manage their economy as well as possible. They did a good job with 2 Tech 9s and 2 Deagles. What, mean anything? Well, not really. At least not yet. Freakazoid does get the frag onto Cynic, and that will be an upgrade for him. AK picked up. Maybe he gets 60 as well. 60 misses a shot. Will be forced back. The Deagle comes around, but 60 is good for it.
Yeah, pose it up like this. These are the shots he's going to hit. Hate wants a challenge with a flashbang, maybe? The flash isn't set up for him right now, so it's going to be a bit of a repositioning, a little bit of remaneuvering. leaving one. That's awkward. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Way too close for comfort now. Hate has options. He's gone to the rifle. He can choose which way he wants to play this. George should have the first entry in towards A, sectioned out. And knowing that he has time, Hate's going to go back to clear the flank. Just make sure everything's clean, everything's comfortable. Let some time out of this round. Let's see if Nouns will make a blunder. Does seem like they might. George advancing into the bathrooms. Timing will be everything on this exchange as Hate gains ground towards the bomb site itself. George comes in for the clear. Does he read that this is going back to A? He seems to.
Yeah.
Just have an inkling that that's the idea, and Hate's got to be careful. Needs to get in towards this truck. He does so. But George will come around just in the nick of time. Great feeling for the timing on this one. And that keeps the round going the way it Nouns.
Yeah, it makes it 5 in a row. Looking to win this, or take this half into the second one on a win streak. If you're the Nouns side, and Mythic need to get back to their winning ways. So those 6 rounds T side is already pretty respectable on Overpass. They would love to make it 7, and they will have a full-on buy up here to work with. It's going to be AKs across the board, and the util is also ready to rock. So let's see what Mythic decide to do here. They're leaning towards the B side with a couple of players. The bomb drop behind them. A Molotov gets tossed in immediately, and it looks like they're posturing towards Monster, but they have stalled out a little bit. As Nouns going to throw some counter utility. That's bwills tossing a couple of flashes in towards construction. That is where Freak will be peeking out. In the meantime, 60 has gotten into a fight here towards short A. He goes down to 7 HP, lucky to be alive, in fact, and will retreat back to that A site.
That AWP has not
Cynic.
been looking the most dialed in. He's going to come back for a fight. Cynic catches the timing on the flashbang, but a 1-for-1 trade there. Not. Ooh, they're committed. They didn't realize Freak was so far forward. So George down, the nade chases. This round's wide open as Mythic look to make it close at the half. That's good timing for bwills getting back around, but he's committing into the angle and they're past him. Problem is they don't actually have the bomb here yet, John, so that's going to take a little bit of extra clock. Does mean that 60 could potentially cause problems from heaven. The repositions on, and now it's all just 60, and he's not got the health. He's not really got the chance for this one. Gonna give it a try nonetheless, and Freakazoid will take us through to the half with a Mythic round. Half number 2 kicking off. A decoy picked up for twice. What's your go-to decoy strat here, John?
Oh my god.
He's already thrown it. Never mind.
I mean, well, yeah, I would say just toss it in the direction of one of the bomb sites to try and
Lame.
attract attention, but especially if we're going to throw it that early.
Here's what you do. You run a nade stack, and then at the end, you pick the position you think the guy lived in. You throw a decoy at it just to see if you can bottle him. Because I don't think there's a more humiliating way to die in a Counter-Strike game than getting decoyed.
Yeah.
I think that's up there.
I think the Zeus.
Look at all this space. Look at that kill from Cooper. That might shut this down. There we go. Twice out. The rotations are on. Mythic are trying to get their bodies through, but the smokes are going to make life difficult. And this should be a bomb plant. All but guaranteed. They do need to commit to it. With no one on the flank. Cynic's actually planning for bank. This is... okay. They're going to get away with it, but this is very bold. bwills, 2 huge kills. Makes this retake very difficult. bwills will just continue to put in work. Why not? So it's all good. That bank plant was spicy, but now it's pull it off.
Yeah, great work from bwills getting those 3 headshots. But like you said, that was a very dangerous position for Nouns to plant the bomb, given that bank hadn't been fully cleared. But hey, look, it works out anyway, and they get a 9th, so no harm, no foul. And now Mythic will be on the full-on save here. They only have P250 and a flashbang purchased up. Outside of that, nada. So $500 spent in the round by Mythic. Over on the Nouns side, they upgrade to 4 Galils and the MAC-10. And with Mythic stacking towards the A site and Nouns leaning towards B, this will probably be a clean round victory for the Nouns side, assuming they continue their trek towards the B site, and it looks like they're doing exactly that.
George, testing the water. He's dipping his toes in the pool. Like the kid who didn't really want to be at the pool party. Oh, it's fine. I didn't bring a suit. I'll just put my feet in. No one wanted to be that kid.
Kermit the Frog going to the pool party? Or?
That's a slightly different voice. That's not too far off though. That's more like, oh, don't worry about it, guys. I'm just gonna dip my toes into the water here. Kermit the Frog, and yeah, I do like water.
That was really good, actually. As looks like things are getting really spicy here, though, Mike. As Mythic coming on the flank, they get a couple with the pistols and a 4v3. I mean, look, the round's gone, but still a couple of upgrades.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to take a Galil into the next round, but they're just gonna fight it. Well, no Galil anymore.
Wow.
You like that one, huh, John?
Yeah, that's excellent.
I got a few of those impressions. The funny thing about my impressions is I feel like they just have to come out naturally. Like if I really try and force it, it's trickier. But in the right moment, got a few good ones in store.
Yeah, I have some too, but a lot of them aren't safe for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm intrigued, John, because that does not. This might finally. You know how we've been. Well, I've been trying to find something that you do that is like counter to my mental image of you. We might have finally found it.
Perhaps.
I need to know what you got.
Well, I'll have to let you know on another time. But Sexy is going to get the headshot onto Freak, and Flom trades it out. Mythic are back to the rifles here. In fact, for the first time on their CT side. And now twice, waiting to greet Cynic, who's just going to toss him util forward and then fall off. Speaking of util, George is going to be the one to keep an eye on in terms of those flashbangs. He throws on average 1 per round, which is actually pretty high, and that was the case last season. And he averages 0.07 flash assists per round. And let's see if George is going to be able to get a frag in this one as he's leading the charge forward.
Flashes, the entries, he does it all. What more do you want? Speaking of effective flashes, ooh, that was good, and well, not so good on the execution. Still, these players are low. There's a world where Cynic can pull this off. Player back graffiti, player water, rotation coming in from construction. He's got a decent read on these positions. First kill found. Snaps around for the next. Cooper's put on notice. Let him know he knows what they know, but he doesn't know the last player's coming in. And fortunately for him, Flom is not giving him the fight. Flom wants to readjust this angle. This could be a bit cheeky. How does Cynic want to
yeah.
play this? Flom's going to come around in towards heaven, but Cynic's going to get below it. Oh, time will get short. They don't have kits. Don't have kits. The first one's found. Cynic's got the read. Cynic's got the read, and the clutch comes through. A 1v3, but cool as a cucumber. Cynic never flinches.
Oh, great work from Cynic. I mean, look, he wins the 1v1. There's no trade in sight for Mythic, who decide to play it more passively, and then they continue to push into his crosshair, not really set up for an immediate trade. They were hoping that the individual duels would win it, but Cynic was up to the challenge. He jumps up to 18 frags on the scoreboard, just one behind George, and this is the Cynic and George that we're used to seeing. As I think it's benefited Cynic to go back onto that rifle, and we're already seeing the results here. We're jumping right into the action here in round number 19. Of course, probably saw those results in the playoffs too, right? Mythic. 3 Deagles, a P250, and a 5.7. Little bit of armor purchased. Cooper twice and Freak have that on their backs and chests. And they're hoping that it'll help them fight off a Nouns Esports sides that's got AKs across the board. Cooper's completely flashed out here. He'll likely get cleansed from this universe as he goes down to the ground, and that'll be that.
One remainder. Twice. Not long for this world. Some nice Deagle upgrades here if you're on the Nouns side. And finally, around where you can actually breathe a sigh of relief, where you can stabilize, where you can say, oh, we do have some money. That's nice. That's nice. And now a 5-round lead. Mythic need to get their feet under them in a big way. The op's going to come out. Actually, the double ops are going to be out. Okay. Cooper's had a good game so far. Let's see if this can give Flom the kick in the pants he needs. Where are the ops playing? Coop's actually going down towards B. Flom. Are we working some presence long? Cooper going with B. Destruction set up with it. Molotov to keep him from getting too aggressive, but now he's going to be in towards the angle, and Cynic will give him a fight. There's the spot. Cooper wants this shot, but sticking around the edge. Right eye versus left eye. Cynic gets the better of him, and that's one op already down.
Yeah, and that's a really good start for Nouns because Cooper is a player that Mythic rely on to get things going on their CT side, and when he falls first, it only spells trouble. And there you have it, the follow-up from Cynic. He's got another 3K, this time opening things up, and George follows it up with the frag onto Freak. Only Flom left, and he's likely already on a save because he's all the way over towards bathrooms, not even close to the B site.
Not even close. I have to say, major kudos to Cynic. Last season was not great for Cynic.
No.
And a huge amount of that was him trying to op and IGL at the same time. And it seems like back to the rifling, he's having so much more impact. He's so much more comfortable. He's the player that we know he can be. And that's awesome to see because he was genuinely, his performance was one of the things that limited them on their road to Rio, right? He just didn't do what we knew he was capable of. And the op definitely slowed him down.
No, I couldn't agree more, honestly. And he's always been a solid rifler, too. I think that's one of the praises that we always heaped upon Cynic is that he's able to fill any role, and he's always excelled at it. The only thing that he struggled with was IGLing and opping at the same time, which we know is extremely challenging. And, well, I think they made absolutely the right call by shifting things up, bringing Carson in as a solid rifler, and then allowing Cynic to give the op over to 60. And of course, Cynic will still use the op sometimes when they go for the double op setup, but I mean, letting 60 take care of business there is not a bad idea at all, and he will also burn twice to Nitty Bitty Crisp. Cynic gets Freak, and now it's a 5v3 in favor of Nouns. They have control of B, and Mythic probably don't want much more to do with
this. Yeah. I mean, even the armor's probably worth saving at this point. You're just running out of rounds. And it's not like you're going to pull off a miracle here with a P250 and a Deagle. Make that just a P250. Don't have a kit. Can't really go for the Ninja. Flom is basically just waiting to see if someone comes up and gives him a gun. Hand delivered in towards heaven, but Nouns aren't going to do it. So this will be 14 on the board. Really commanding second half here. It was so tight through the first. The T side is where Nouns spread their wings and soar.
Truly. And
just soar? I wonder if there's still a thing.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow, that's a throwback.
They had a Val team for a little while. I remember they had
they did,
old
yes.
Nerfed on it.
But I think they're done. I haven't seen much Soar in a very long time. Like, I knew there were a lot of people that were streaming for them, teams, of course, competitively playing with them, but I have not seen that tag in a very, very long time.
Oh, they're still tweeting. At least I don't know if they have any teams though.
Yeah, I don't think so. Either way, this is really good for Nouns, and it just goes to show you again that the map stats don't really tell much of a story when you're playing up against Mythic. And George is going to get the opener again. Wow. I mean, Nouns have just been getting opener after opener here on their T side.
Looking like they're just a streamer org now.
Yeah, that's the tough thing for Mythic, right? Sometimes they'll look like they're in a match and going toe-to-toe, and then things just kind of crumble.
Oh, I was talking about Soar, but yeah, no, Mythic as well. Definitely crumbling here. Sexy, finding nice kills. Well, he started getting rhythm. That's a nice change up. It was a little quiet through the first half, but 13 and 14 now. It's not game changing. But if he starts to warm up, we know what he can do with that AWP on Mirage. We've seen it before.
Yeah,
would be a nice one for now. Ah! Okay, all good. That totally didn't get a little panicky. 4v2, all good. Bomb down. Round just about over. Frankly, Mythic probably should be saving, but I don't think they're going to.
It's 7.
So here goes hate. Goodbye, hate.
All right. Well,
Carson has conquered hate.
It was certainly an effort from Mythic, but
based on his default global mute, would not be what you'd expect for him.
I don't know what it is, but oh my gosh. 15-7 in favor of Nouns. Map point has been found, and of course this was Mythic's map pick, so Nouns can steal that off and come up with a good performance on Mirage. They can kick things off here in Season 43 with a W, but Mythic may have other plans. They're certainly no stranger to getting comebacks in these types of situations, so this one is still far from over.
I think we're pretty much over, but let's find out. Mythic. Ooh, there we go. All right. That construction fight has not worked out for them very much. I'm actually surprised it works out here, but Freakazoid just gets enough vision onto George to take him out of play. Still a lot of room left to rumble, and the 4-man stack on B means that there is a ton of real estate here available should Nouns choose to take it on the A side of the map. They're choosing. They're choosing, John. They're taking this space. They're taking this ground. The Nouns are verbing their way into the bathrooms.
Taking their time here. 45 seconds left on the clock. I would guess their execute's going to come within the next 10.
I mean, they still got full util virtually on these 4 remaining players, right? There's a ton of flashes, smokes, mollies. The rotation's going to come up. They'll bring a 3rd player up to support, but there's going to be a curtain of util making their life difficult as they try and get back through, and that isolates Cooper a little bit. His teammates want to get into support, and Hate's going to be able to do so, but not for long, and that's a great second kill for Cynic. That'll AK's really coming alive. Still a man advantage in the post plant. Cynic limping as well. Might need to rest on the AWP of 60, but he's already delivering. First kill found, and now he can post up in the bathrooms. Play the long game. There's no smoke over on the Mythic side, so they're going to have to get her done with the guns, and it's just down to Freak. Nicely played from 60 so far. He'll finish this one off and send us through to Mirage.